People often ask us why the pork tastes different, why it tastes better. I think the difference is due to the genetics of the pigs. So the animals here are Berkshire sired, which means the father of the market animals is a Berkshire boar, and Berkshire pigs have been known for a long time to have a lot of intermuscular marbling, and that's the kind of fat you see, in with the lean on a pork chop, for example. The other reason is the feed we produce on the farm is organic, and certified organic pork means that the animals are eating a diet of certified organic grain. So the farm here has about 400 acres of certified organic land, and we produce a lot of our own feed that way. The other reason, I think, is simply that the animals live outdoors or live in open air, and when they're living in open air, that means they're not living in their own stink, as I call it. So many industrial and indoor pigs are living over sort of literally a cesspit of their own waste, and I think it's just very bad for the pork quality, and we don't realize just how much of a negative impact this indoor system of production has on pork, because the smell of all this animal waste infuses itself into the pork, and here we don't have that because the animal's outdoors and or living in a very open air barn. The pork could be considered to be healthier because we're not using antibiotics during the production. We feel that we create an environment on the farm that allows the pig to be a pig and have a lot of space and less stress. And if a pig has less stress, it's probably less likely to be sick, and therefore we won't need to administer antibiotics. And I think that probably is a health concern that a consumer who's buying meat should be aware of. The way we run this farm is really based on a holism approach. In other words, having a whole system. Farm is basically a contained organism. So it starts out with the land. We have land that makes grain, which is food for the pigs, and this food turns into pork, and the pigs leave behind some waste, and this can be recycled into grain for the next year's crop. And right there I've just described a self-contained sustainable system, and it continues on because we are not really participating in the corporate or industrial food economy. We're making an alternative economy. We find partners and people who appreciate these things and want to buy this food, and they work directly with us, and I think these relationships are mutually beneficial, and it's healthy for the planet because we're not utilizing so much fossil fuel. We're not utilizing as many chemicals, or energy-intensive, capital-intensive inputs are reduced here. We have a lot less, I think, erosion on our land, and we have less chemical runoff or no chemical runoff because of the organic farming and management of this acreage. All these are things that we could say improve the health of the planet. I really think as a true farmer, you ought to be looking at your responsibility to make food for people. And if we were making food for people, we would be in a better position, I think, in farming today.